I'm married, happily most days. It's a good life. But even in a life filled with love, I find myself missing something. Something I didn't actually expect to miss so much. And that's friends. Real friends. The kind that you belly laugh with until you cry. The kind that sit beside you silently when your world feels like it's falling apart. I don't mean those casual company friends or acquaintances. I mean the ones who knew you before your life got so full and then so quiet. It's a strange thing to be in a good marriage and still feel so lonely at times. Not for the lack of love, but because not every part of me fits neatly into one relationship called marriage. There are other pieces of me, whole parts of my personality that actually only come alive around certain people and friends. And now that they're gone, those parts feel a little like ghosts. Sometimes I'll laugh at something, a joke, a story, a moment in time that would have had my old friend in stitches. And without even thinking, I reach for my phone. But then I stop. Because who would I call? The people who used to be right there for me, they're not anymore. And it's not because of some tragic thing that happened. What happened is time. Life. Life drifted us apart. And sometimes it's just because they've moved away or our lives just changed in some way or another. And sometimes it's truly just distance, emotional, physical, or whatever. But the space is still there that they held. That missing piece is still real. People assume that just because you have a partner and you're married, you're never lonely. But here's the truth. Even the best marriages doesn't replace everything. There are things that you say to your friends, things that couldn't be said to anyone else, even your spouse. Not because of secrecy or shame, but because that friend got you in a different way. You could be silly, you could be messy, and you didn't need to carry that emotional weight on your shoulders, and it was okay just being okay. Friendship love is lighter, and in its own way, it's deeper in certain corners of your heart. In our 30s and 40s, life was crowded and busy. We had careers, we had kids, we had family obligations, and you didn't mean to drift apart from your friends. But 1 month turned into a year, and one missed phone call turned into silence, and then suddenly the people you thought would be there forever just weren't. And maybe they thought the same about you. No big falling out, no drama, just this slow erosion of shared time. And now here we are, older, slower, and maybe a little wiser, wondering where those people went. and where we went. There's a kind of grief for friendships that fade. The grief for the conversations you'll never have again. And sometimes I think it hurts more because it wasn't dramatic. There was no closure. No final goodbye, just space, void, absence. Just that little pause before you share something. And then you realize there's no one at the other end to hear that. There's a quiet kind of heartbreak that no one prepares you for. I had a friend, and maybe you did too, the one that I thought we would grow old together and do silly things with. We would joke about being old ladies sitting on the porch in their rocking chairs, drinking wine and telling stories and laughing until we snorted. She was my person. You know that line from Grey's Anatomy where Meredith tells Christina, "You're my person"? That kind of friendship. That kind of friendship that no explanations ever needed. They just get you. Where that one look could send you both into uncontrollable laughter. The friend that would push you to be the very best version of yourself. Or where the long silence felt comfortable and not awkward. And somewhere along the line, life happened. Like I said, jobs, moves, kids, taking care of our parents, burnout, the phone calls stopped, the text messages slowed, and now sometimes I don't even know what I'd say if I called. Not because I don't care, that's not it. But because we've both changed, we've both become different people, and yet I still miss her, even in the unspoken years. That space she filled in my life is still there. Quiet, familiar, and a little tender. Because when someone holds that part of you, that silly, wild, unfiltered version of yourself, you don't forget it. Even if time has stretched between you, friendships fade slowly. Not with a bang, but with a whisper. On this birthday, we have to catch up sometime, but it never happens. And it's really no one's fault. It's just life. You both wanted to stay in touch. You still think of each other with love. But the rhythm of that friendship has changed. The connection slipped. It's different. And now you're left with the memories that still make you smile. And sometimes can sting a little too. Because you didn't lose them in a traditional sense. You just lost the closeness of that friendship. And that can hurt just as much. I feel it in the little moments when I hear a song that we used to sing, off key of course, or when something ridiculous happens and I know it's something that would make her burst out laughing, or when I needed someone to say, "Yeah, that really sucks. Want to go for a coffee?" It's not that my partner isn't loving, and it's not that I'm unhappy. It's just that I miss that friendship. Her way of seeing me, her timing, her humor, and her presence. This video isn't here to offer any advice. It isn't going to give you a to-do list. You don't need to fix anything. What you need, what we all need sometimes, is just the chance to say, this sucks. It's hard. You miss him. And you feel a little alone. Because loneliness doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers in the corners of a full life. It slips in behind the comfort. It doesn't mean your life is bad. It means you've known love and change. And the strange thing about that, about missing friends, you still talk to them. Maybe not out loud, maybe just in your head, or maybe I just do that. But sometimes when the funny things happen, or something breaks your heart, you think, she would have loved that. And maybe that's how friendship continues. In the memories. In the missing. So if you've ever laughed with no one to laugh back, or cry with no one to wipe your tears, if you've ever felt that ache in your chest, not for a partner, but for a friend, you're not alone. We're out here, quietly missing our people. Quietly holding on to the memories. Quietly trying to be okay with the silence. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to change it. Just know you're not the only one feeling this way. And in some small way, by being here listening, we're not quite alone anymore. Love doesn't leave. It lingers in the memory, in the laughter, and in the silence. So if you're missing someone today, leave a heart in the comments or tell your story. Someone's listening. Catch you on the next one.